Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between, welcome to another episode of the Jake Botel Sports Experience. On today's episode, we will continue our 2022 Senior All-Ireland Hurling Championship team profiles with a look at Cork. If you haven't caught up yet on our other videos, you can go and check out all 6 Joe McDonough Cup teams. I've previewed all of those, and I've also previewed Clare from the Munster Hurling Championship. While you're there, chuck me a sneaky subscribe. Gives good vibes to you, helps me grow the channel, so it's a win-win. So let's get into our team profile of Cork. They are known as the Rebels. Their manager is Kieran Kingston since 2019. Their captain, Mark Coleman. Their most recent title, you've got to go all the way back to 2005 for when Cork defeated Galway 121 to 116. Historically, Cork are a really strong hurling county. They're without an All-Ireland Hurling Championship, though, since that last title in 2005. Manager Kieran Kingston led the team back to the brink in 2021, but Cork were dismantled by the reigning All-Ireland champions Limerick. They've suffered another defeat since in this year's league final against Waterford. So if revenge wasn't on their mind heading into this 2022 championship, it certainly is now for the Rebels. So let's have a look at some form for this Rebels team. The most recent stretch of games we have to look at for this side is the 2022 National Hurling League. So let's have a look at how they fared in that campaign. So Cork began in dominant fashion. They defeated Clare 230 to 221. Honestly, the margin of 9 points was flattering on Clare. This was a real domination from the Rebels, who had business on the mind. They won against Offaly by 19 points, 425 to 115. They won at Limerick, burying a few demons against the team that defeated them in last year's All-Ireland final. Impressive in this game, this was the most physical that Cork looked all league. They really went about trying to assert themselves physically against Limerick. So it'll be interesting to see if they can repeat that down the line, because out of the league, this was the most physical that Cork looked out of all of their games. They won against Galway 126 to 23. Then they lost to Wexford 117 to 122. The semi-final of the league, they won against Kilkenny 127 to 220. So then the final arrives, and while it's fair enough to ask with the league, where different teams' mindsets are at, if you make it to the final of any competition, you want to win. And the fact of the matter is that come the final, Waterford had just too much firepower up forward for Cork to handle. The Waterford side winning 420 to 123. Cork will be disappointed and a little concerned about their inability to handle Waterford defensively, because it harkens back to the All-Ireland final against Limerick last season, where they conceded, I think, 3 goals, 31 against the reigning champ. So some concern there on the defensive side of things for Cork coming out of the league. They go 5-2. They score 12 goals, 167 points. No questions about the attacking output, but they concede 11 goals, 134. They have a plus 36 point differential. So we've had a look at the team form. Let's have a look at the form of some of the individuals for Cork. You have Patrick Horgan leading the way with 1 goal, 41 points in the league campaign for a total of 44. You got Shane Kingston coming in second with 4 goals, 24 points for a total of 36. Conor Lahan, 1 goal, 19 points for a total of 22. And Dara Fitzgibbon, 2 goals, 13 points for a total of 19. So those 4 players combined for 897, 121 in total. So what are my expectations for Cork in this campaign? Well, they finished last year with a defeat in a final. They began this season with a defeat in a final. There are questions about Cork's ability to defend these teams that they've gone up against. And I think it's fair to ask those questions. But it's also fair to assert that they're making these finals. They are one of the best teams in the competition. They're one of the best hurling teams in the country. They're going to be there or thereabouts again. There's no doubt. I would expect them, with their ability to score freely and run the score up on opponents. This is a super talented team that will be vying once again for that All-Ireland title. But there are legitimate questions that they need to address on the defensive side of the park. And that really will dictate just how far the Rebels can go. So what's up next on the JBSE for you? Well, next up, we have a look at a team we've mentioned a few times now, the reigning back-to-back All-Ireland champions, Limerick. We'll have a look at some team details, their National League form, some expectations, and more. If you've enjoyed this video, go check out some of the others. All 6 teams in the Joe McDonough Cup have already been previewed. We've done Clare as well in the Munster Hurling Championship. While you're over there, give us a subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Sends good vibes your way, helps me grow the audience. Win-win all round. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching.